Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of the 100 brake horsepower Renault Twizy build. On today's episode we're going to strip this thing to pieces, lay out all the bits, go through what they all do, and then maybe we'll have a closer look at our VW battery pack. So give me a thumbs up because the YouTube algorithm likes that, and let's go. Now to start with, I'm going to pull off all these under trays and then we can take a closer look at how it's laid out underneath here. Now underneath the Twizy, it's a pretty simple setup. We have motor and gearbox here with inverter hidden up there. We have our main battery pack, which has a supply to the inverter here, data connection. We've got another connector here, which is another high voltage connector which feeds the charger. And then that heads up to the charge port. It's a pretty straightforward setup, very well distributed weight-wise, charger, battery pack, motor, inverter, gearbox. So let's get this apart. Now before I unbolt too much stuff, I'm going to get the low voltage and the high voltage connectors off the battery pack, so at least I know there's no HV going anywhere. Not that there should be, because there is sealed contactors within this pack, but always best to do it to be safe. So we'll start from the front and work our way back. Let's get the charger off first. There we go. That was hard work. With the charger out and all the high voltage connections off, I'm gonna undo 4 of the bolts from underneath here, leave the other 4 on, get my jack up stand underneath, and we'll drop the battery back out. They're pretty simple. It literally is just those 3 connections on the battery pack on the Twizy. So here it goes. Well, I've managed to get them all to move and break free, so now it's time to lower this down onto the jack-up trolley thing. There's probably a technical name for it, and then we'll get this dropped out the bottom of the car. So here's my jackable trolley thing. I've got some wooden spacers to hopefully clear the ramp legs, so let's give this a go then, shall we? Slowest ramp in the world. It's going to be even slower once all the weights have it. Not too bad. As I already got them slightly slacked off as soon as we took the load with the jack-up-able trolley thing, it means I can undo them by hand. Nice and easy. Let's do the other side then. Forgot the earth strap. Nearly had them all out. There we go. Hey. What I've decided to do throughout this build is put all the nuts and bolts back in that I take out, because it's always hard to tell when we're doing conversions how long they're going to be apart for. And to be honest, much as I've got a fairly, well, I don't know, my wife probably wouldn't say I've got a fairly good memory. I'm going to put them all back in just so I don't forget. Now time to get the rear end out of the Twizy, which is motor, gearbox and inverter. As you can hear, everyone in the workshop has decided to make loads of noise right now, but oh well, we'll just crack on, shall we? So in theory, we should be able to do a range of bolts under the car and the 2 shocks, and we should be able to drop the whole rear subframe slab structure, if I can spit it out of the vehicle, which includes drive shaft, wheels, motor, inverter, gearbox, the lot in one unit. So we'll crack on and give that a go. If you've seen the size of these drive shafts, they're like the same thickness as my finger. I don't think they're going to last very long when we've got 100 brake horsepower going through this thing, do you? I think I've now got everything off that needs to come off. So brake calipers are off, suspension is disconnected, earth leads are off, a couple of data connections have been unplugged. So hopefully now we can just undo the lower bolts and drop her out. Yeah, it should.
No, if you take the bolts off the back, you just... Good. Or in case you...
Now getting the Twizy apart wasn't actually that hard. So in front of us we have the key components from the Twizy. We have our battery pack, which is very easy, nice, neat, sealed design. We have a Twizy charger here, which is also a DC to DC converter as well, so it charges up the little 12-volt battery on board. And then we have our Sevcon inverter with reduction gear, single-speed gearbox, and air-cooled motor. Now I wonder what we could fit this in. Now, let's go and get the VW battery pack apart, shall we? This is our tech time part of this episode, and we're going to strip down the VW hybrid battery pack. Now there's certain safety aspects that you must follow when doing this, which we went through on the previous episode. So do not do this if you have not got experience or the relevant qualifications to go with it. So let's get started. I feel like Mr. Blobby. Just undoing the connections that come off the other side of the contactor. These go down to the high voltage connector on the front. I'm going to take these together just so they don't keep dangling around in the way, basically. I now need to undo these tiny little fiddly connectors here, which you cannot do with these on. So there's certain circumstances where Mr. Blobby Hands just doesn't work. Now that stupid foam bit's removed, you can finally get to the cut loop, which is down in here. As you can see, we've got the first 4 modules out. Now, as you can also tell, I didn't show you how we got them out. It was a bit up close and personal with me and Tom, trying to get them out. They are extremely difficult to get out without the correct tooling. So you have to basically prop up one side, lever the other side up evenly, remove the buzz bar, and then you can lift them out as pairs. So I'm now going to remove the coolant pipes this side and go through the same process, but once again, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to get in trouble. So now we've got the whole battery pack stripped down. We have our 8 modules. We've left them grouped in pairs on the coolant plates for now. Hopefully we can actually mount them in the new battery box like this, but we know it's going to be extremely tight trying to fit this in the Twizy. We've also kept the full battery management system, all the looms, the master and the low voltage input. The SIMP BMS we're going to be using won't need the master because it's going to take the place of the master, because each one of these modules has an inbuilt BMS similar to the Tesla Model S modules. We have also got the contactor box with fuses. We may or may not use them, but we're going to keep hold of them for now because obviously they are for this pack, so it makes sense to reutilize those. And I've kept all the coolant pipes with connectors. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. Please come back for episode 3 of the 100 brake horsepower Twizy build. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.